The following production is part of the We Be Geeks podcast collective.
From days long ago, from uncharted regions of the universe, comes a legend.
The dream that came through a million years, that lived on through all the tears.
It came here, the Fandom Nexus.
Fabulous secret powers were revealed to our host as he plugged in his microphone.
I have a podcast!
Here he is, your Spider-Pan, Jeremy.
Hello! I hope you all had a good holiday, a great Thanksgiving, and we kind of took a little bit of time off. I had meant to actually had something out there last weekend because there's something special that happened last weekend that we're going to talk about today. But I hope you all had a good holiday and enjoyed the little time off. You know, spent some time with your families, eating a little food, and, drinking a little eggnog, gobble. Gobbling down the turkey. Get it? Haha, okay.
That's it.
Yep. Yes, and Lost Boy Philip, of course, is here with me.
Hello.
Yes, I'm sure you had a good Thanksgiving as well.
I did, man. I had a wonderful time. Boy, I ate more than I should have. As usual.
Well, I didn't eat more than I should have. I was being very careful. That's one of the reasons also we didn't get a show recorded last week, even though I had meant to, is my Ozempic came back into the pharmacy, and I took the full dosage that I was supposed to be at, which I need to make sure I take some more tonight, although I'm afraid to. But my stomach wasn't used to it anymore, and I took the full dosage they prescribed, and I've been feeling kind of sick to where it was restricting my stomach, but I also felt like I was starving because I wasn't eating enough. So my body just wasn't adjusted. And finally around Thanksgiving, but I was afraid on Thanksgiving to really eat too much, so I was very measured in what I ate, and which was probably a good thing health-wise. So it was kind of a rough week.
Well, I usually eat one meal a day. That's what I usually do. I did that on Thanksgiving too, but it was a nice meal. I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah. I'm moving your position to where I see you on screen. Down there. There we go.
There you go.
That way I'm looking at the camera. Oh, I forgot to hit the record button to record video, so we won't have video for our friends on the Patreon. But that's okay. Patreon still gets to have it early. And if you want to be able to hear the show without the ads, Patreon is the way to go. Plus, you help support the show. Help me keep this thing going. Because you know what? Today is a kind of a special episode. Today is the end of season 10. So I've officially been at this for 10 years.
Wow. And
I really thought about it. It's like, can I keep this going? Do I want to go into season 11? And I really thought about this because, I mean, with the changeover to being a different type of show, we've dropped a lot of listeners. I'm not getting the Patreon support that I need, honestly. So if you've ever considered supporting me, this would be a great time to help cover the cost of this. So I thought, do I really want to dive into season 11? And I think back of all the great things I've gotten to do with all the Comic-Con panels and all the fun stuff I've done that this show has allowed me to do. And I thought, well, that's the things in the past, but what do we got going forward? And then ideas start falling into my head. And I'm like, yes, I do have a season 11 in me. Because going the direction of the retro, because I started, I saw stuff on YouTube like, oh my gosh, Airwolf. Wow, somebody like recreated the theme of Airwolf and everything, was playing on a keyboard and did this nice mix. And I was like, there's a lot of great TV shows. And even Heather and I were having some fun on YouTube. we were on YouTube and watching like the opening themes for songs from TV shows from the 70s. And we didn't know a lot of those from the 80s. I'm like, there's a lot of TV shows, lots of movies that we haven't gotten to talk about that would be a lot of fun with this new style of show. So yeah, we're keeping going. And I'm even getting ideas. Planet Comic-Con is coming up this March, and I thought, do I want to do the same old thing with the Disney style stuff? And I might still, but I've got other ideas that I'm going to try to register because we were a different show. So I thought finding God in the Lord of the Rings, because Tolkien's faith came up. He couldn't help it. He didn't mean to. He wasn't aiming to, but it still comes out in some of the themes. Which, by the way, we've got that as a coming in episode. We'll have Emma come in to talk about Lord of the Rings. Not this episode, but next one, because I spent about an hour talking to her yesterday. And then, of course, finding God and the themes in the Chronicles of Narnia, which are a lot more obvious, but I think not everybody get it. And so I thought it would be kind of fun to do a couple of panels, and we'll record those as well. So if you're not in Kansas City area or whatever, if you can't travel, you will be able to hear it. But of course, I got to get the approval. But I've got ideas for what to do at Planet Comic Con this year. You're going to have to help me out, and we'll get some verses in there. We'll do something a little different.
Oh, I love it.
So because the show now is different, and if you're enjoying the show of how we're different now, and we're a bit more letting our faith speak into this show, if you're enjoying that, share this show with other people. And if you want to support to keep this going, Patreon's a wonderful way. Also a great way. And I normally save this ad for later, but let me go ahead because we're talking about supporting the show. Dubby. And if you go to dubby.gg, and heck, if you go even to my website, neverlandpodcast.com, which is, I'm probably going to get another domain that's fandomnexus.com. It's coming one of these days. I just have to pay for that too. But there'll be a link for dubby.gg, and there's a discount code of Neverland, and you can get a discount on your order from Dubby. What is Dubby? Well, Dubby is energy drinks, and they recommend it for gamers because it won't give you the jitters, but it'll give you good, healthy energy. It's vitamins and stuff like that. It's not just loading you up with caffeine, but it comes in a powdered form, so you kind of mix it together with water, and you can order drinking bottles and all this kind of fun stuff. Lots of great flavors. I've been getting confused on how I'm supposed to get my sample pack, so I haven't managed to get it, so I haven't gotten to try any of it yet, but give it a shot. So supporting our sponsors, buying stuff off of the merch thing, every little bit does help pay for this show, and I could really, really use the help, y'all. So, all right, but I don't want to be like money begging here. So what have I been playing has been, like I said, Deathloop, which is an interesting sci-fi thing. There's a lot of language in it, but it was a lot of fun. I stepped away from it because I got a little frustrated. I got to a point where, because you're every time you die, you loop back to the first day of it, and you lose everything you've collected unless you've managed to bank it a certain ways, which is kind of a problem I had with the Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, and I kind of got tired of doing that. I didn't want to do the same day, and so I ended up not finishing that one. So Deathloop, I do want to still play it, but I got to a point where I was not gaining anything, and I kind of got frustrated, and I said, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play something else. And with Alan Wake 2 having been out, I kind of been wanting to replay Alan Wake, and noticing that the trophies I had from the PS4 didn't cross over to the PS5 updates to Alan Wake. So I didn't play those extra 2 bonus episodes, but I'm stuck actually in the middle of those, but they have some of the extra stuff that happens to the character before the sequel game comes out, which I do want to get eventually. I'm going to have to get in there, but also I wanted to play Control again, which I did platinum on the PS4, and I thought, you know what, I can platinum them again on the PS5. So having some fun with that. All right, but otherwise, what I'm watching, this is something I want Philip to come back on because he's the one that told me that this was a thing. But Philip showed me something that's on Disney Plus. It's a Christmas with Walt Disney. It's actually a documentary brought to you by the Walt Disney Family Museum out in San Francisco. And it's even narrated from Diane Disney Miller before she passed away. Although I guess they just recently completed it. But it's got a lot of home movie video footage of Walt and his family, mixed with some footage from some of the holiday specials that was happening throughout the years, and different movies and shorts and things like that. Well, I enjoyed it. It was there were a few times watching it that I was like, man, I would almost rather watch this goofy skiing cartoon or some of the different movies, or even I'd love if Disney Plus had the Wonderful World of Disney. Even the old black and whites, or the World of Color, where Walt was just talking about what they're building in Disneyland, or even about different shows, or having guests like Edgar Bergen or Catherine Beaumont on there. I would like to just see those full things. And they had clips from those, but I'd actually just like to sit and watch those, the whole show. And I don't believe Disney Plus has those unless I'm mistaken. I have not seen it, but to me, that's part of the promise of what I thought Disney Plus was going to be versus what I got from Disney Plus. And so I'm still a little disappointed that it's not everything that I thought it was going to be. But it's a really cool special. I enjoyed it. Also, strangely enough, I did see the special episode of Doctor Who, where they've brought David Tennant back in for at least one episode to have another adventure with Donna Noble. And let's just say that it suffers from the same problems that the series was starting to get over the last season, where I wasn't able to watch it because I don't have BBC anymore since I cut cable. But a lot of the complaints I saw was still happening and saw it with one particular character that they seem to be pushing an agenda. And that's not why I got into watching Doctor Who back in the day. So I quit watching that. I didn't want to support the agenda that they were going there because it is against the Bible and science. But let's just go ahead and move into some of the news that I found.
Spanning the Disney and geek universe to bring you the best in comics, toys, movies, and entertainment. This is news from around Neverland.
So I'm a little behind on some of the news because I meant to do this like last weekend when we had the 95th anniversary of Mickey and Minnie Mouse and Steamboat Willie. And of course, Philip's on here to talk to us about that if he can manage to come back. But here's something else. An announcement for a game called Planet of Lana for PS5 and PS4. Okay, so basically this is more of a visual with a lot of sound. This is, it's geared to be like a 2D platformer, but it looks the animation is amazing. The look of this, it's a sci-fi game, Planet of Lana. I don't think the language is necessarily in English. There's subtitles on it. There's weird robots and things. But it's been getting 9 out of 10 on the reviews. And apparently a lot of puzzles and a bit of a platforming thing. Kind of a brilliant, amazing looking game. In the description here, it says Planet of Lana is coming to PS4 and PS5 in spring of 2024. A young girl and her loyal friend embark on a rescue mission through a colorful world full of cold machines and unfamiliar creatures, and an epic sci-fi saga that stretches across centuries and galaxies. So definitely, I'm looking forward to checking this out. The look of this is very cool. It looks like it might be like an independent game that's, sometimes independent games really do some amazing things, like Stray, if you ever gotten to play that one. Oh, well, this is interesting. While I'm sitting here on this page, I'm going to jump to something I didn't expect to jump to. We have a Final Fantasy VII Rebirth official story so far trailer here. Let's click it and see what happens. I'm saving my money actually for this game.
When there is so much to tell, where should I even start? With all that we saw, what we heard, what we felt, this planet of ours, destiny, our part in it. Best to start at the beginning, perhaps. Midgar, the city of Mako, ruled by the Shinra Electric Power Company, who drained the planet of its very essence, the life stream, and processed it for industry as Mako. Our world was dying, and so few could hear her cries for mercy. Those who could rose up in her defense. The anti-Shinra rebels, Avalanche. Among them, Cloud Strife, an ex-soldier hired by the Resistance to destroy Reactor 1. In Sector 8, amidst the aftermath of the attack, Cloud met a flower seller named Aerith. She offered him a yellow blossom. One said to symbolize reunion. And thus was destiny set in motion. With Reactor 1 gone, Avalanche set their sights on Mako Reactor 5. Unfortunately, they were playing right into Shinra's hands. The company was able to draw the wool over the people's eyes. and in the end, destroyed Sector 7, killing thousands and laying the blame at Avalanche's feet. Though dear friends were lost, Avalanche had no time to grieve. Aerith had struck a deal with Shinra, who took her into custody. With her capture, Shinra's obsession was within reach. The fabled Promised Land. For Aerith was the last of the Cetra, the ancient stewards of the planet, and only she could guide them to paradise. To save her, the team infiltrated the Shinra building, the company's beating heart. It was here that I, another prisoner, joined their story and assisted them in freeing Aerith. Yet during our flight, we came face to face with a man thought dead. The vaunted war hero, Sephiroth. Before he could be stopped, Cloud's foe fled with the corpse of Genova, the cataclysm from the stars and the catalyst of our plight. Eventually, we too made good our escape. Pursuing troopers defeated, we raced toward Midgar's edge. Yet Sephiroth once again intervened. Suddenly, deafening screams rent the air. Whispers, the arbiters of fate, descended upon the city. Before their imposing wall, Aerith warned us. This was Destiny's crossroads. Every moment, every action, every step taken had all been as the Whispers willed it. To fight them was to break free. On the other side of fate, Sephiroth waited, the Whispers undulating within him. Cloud brought his blade down upon his rival, sundering destiny. With the fight won, and the shackles of destiny broken, we stood before the unknown, a world of boundless freedom. It was there, beyond where fate could follow, that a new journey began.
And that is the story so far, February 29th, 2024. 2 discs, the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the next chapter. All right, well, Philip says that he's ready, so I'm going. Oh, he's sharing me some photos here, too. I'm going to attempt to call him in again, get him back into the show. There's something else interesting here that I'm going to click called Ultimate Spider-Man. Something going on here in Marvel Comics. So this winter, it says, meet the Parkers. We're seeing Peter with a beard and with 2 kids, a boy and a girl with Mary Jane. And meet the Goblin. This is a very high-tech looking Goblin. In a Spider-Man saga, I'm reading the text, there's Jonah Jameson showing up. There's Philip trying to call me here. Now, I don't know if he can hear this to know that he's...
Yes, I hear you.
All right, well, hang on. I can't see what I was looking at in the video no more. Here we go. So, I don't know what this Ultimate Spider-Man is. It's coming January. It's kind of weird because the original, Ultimate Spider-Man was where, we had like an alternate universe, and I don't know if they're just bringing it back. I'm not sure what's up with this. I have not heard anything. Let's read what it says. It says, well, yeah, this winter, meet the Parkers and meet the Goblin in a Spider-Man saga unlike any other. I'm not sure what all is going on with this. I don't know if I'll jump into it. I haven't spent money on that. What?
In a series? I heard they're bringing out a 3rd game in the series. I haven't played
this. This is not a game. Yet. This is a comic.
I see. I'm sorry. I'm late.
Philip can't see the screen, so he doesn't know what's happening. And I got 2 screens up with him because I was trying to call him, and then hang on.
Sorry.
We got to bring Philip back in so he catches up with the rest of us here.
apparently my computer on Windows decided to shut down and clean itself and bring it back. So I don't know how that happened. I didn't do it.
Okay. Well, we need to move on with the show and not get sidetracked like that. So we've already had a weird show because we've had do constantly and all this weird mess.
I apologize. I'm so sorry.
It's been a weird, messed up show, but we're going to keep things going.
Sure.
So the next thing that I want to dive into, well, I got to click the right part of it here. Home Improvement spinoff Mold by Tim Allen and show's cast. Now, mold means that they're thinking about it. They're talking about it. It doesn't mean that it's happening. Okay?
I didn't know what that meant. Yeah.
So I could hit the button. Let's listen to the article. How about that?
Sure. There we go.
And it's not playing. There we go.
Spinoff Mold by Tim Allen and show's cast. Every home needs some renovation at some point. And in a recent interview, Tim Allen revealed,
all right, this reader is boring me. So this is from Deadline. So a recent interview Tim Allen gave, actually, he said that they've at least talked about a spinoff. He's speaking with The Messenger, and he was actually talking about the season 2 of the Santa Clauses, which I plan to watch, but not yet. I might watch it when I have my 2 weeks off of vacation.
I just started yesterday.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but I want to wait because it's still November. So they show the specials, like Rudolph apparently was already shown like the day after Thanksgiving from what I was reading. Like CBS had a thing like, when's a good time for Rudolph? The day after Thanksgiving. No, that's too soon. Come on. I want to save it so I can savor it. That's why I like to just watch everything on my own terms, and I own copies of this stuff. But anyways, Tim Allen put his feet up on a Cracker Barrel and didn't dismiss the question about reviving the series. It had 8 seasons from 91 to 99. And he says he sees Richard Karn a lot, and I talk to the boys, and I'm there as one of their friends. We keep talking about a spinoff. And if it does return, it will have a Fuller House spin. It's funny, one of the conversations we've had recently is how weird it would be if all the home improvement would be about the kids. Like if all of them had children, and I'm a grandparent, home re-improvement or something like that. It's come up. So don't get too excited. This isn't like anything saying that something's really happened, but they've talked about it. And they've had conversation. Doesn't mean it's happening. But yeah, I would watch.
It's a nice thought, at least.
It's a thought. It's something I never expected.
I enjoyed when they'd have you might remember this, Jeremy, when they'd have reunion movies on like ABC or whatever, because that was before they did a lot of the videos. You had, so one of them ended up becoming a TV show.
Yeah.
They had Leave It to Beaver on, in fact, it was on Disney Channel. They had the Leave It to Beaver Now or whatever.
The new Leave It to Beaver, I think it was.
Leave It to Beaver. Okay, I can't remember. But I remember originally it was a TV movie.
Yeah.
And of course, Ward wasn't with us anymore. But they talked about it a little bit. And that was a nice thing. And it was a nice family show. It was no honorness to it, as I call it. It was a real nice show. And you have some stuff like that. And it was kind of fun, like what's happening now. It was about 10, 15 years after the old show. And you had things like that. It was kind of nice. People like to go back home again and enjoy the people they grew up loving, because it's like family. When you grow up watching a show as a young person, and you love going to Mayberry, you love watching the Brady Bunch, you love watching Home Improvement, whatever it is, Full House. It's like going back home to your childhood for just a little bit. Steve Urkel, he's got a cartoon coming out of.
Don't talk about that yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We are not there yet. We're not there yet.
I apologize.
Stay with me. Comment only on what we're talking about. Come on, man.
I'll shut up.
Dune 2. Dune Part 2 has been moved up. At one point, it was going to be like a November 3rd thing. They got pushed around. They're now looking to release the Dune 2 March 15th, 2024. That the SAG-AFTRA strike has finally ended. We're getting things back on track for the Dune Part 2. This is all according, once again, to Deadline. So, yes. But, you mentioned something. I think I've got a trailer for it. So you're jumping to the trailer park before we even get there.
I apologize.
I have Star Wars to talk about.
Is Deadline what is Deadline?
News source. And I always have to tell where it came from. Variety is another news source. Can you see all this on your screen? By the way, I'm sharing screens with you. So here's Variety. There's a documentary, you might have heard about this, about making the Star Wars Holiday Special. And they've got a release date. December the 5th, it's coming out digital, and December December 5th, digital and Blu-ray. I was getting it all wrong. Now, I don't know if this but it's called A Disturbance in the Force, and it chronicles the bizarre making of Star Wars Holiday Special that aired 45 years ago and never surfaced again, except for in conventions and people who are gluttons for punishment that watch it. And there was a trailer here for it. I can't remember if I've already looked at this. Normally we'd say that for the trailer park. But I'm wondering if it doesn't say where it's streaming, if it's going to be you purchase it for on Vudu, or if I can watch this on Disney Plus. Because I would think Disney. Well, then again, I don't think Disney's the one behind this documentary. I think some other people are, but it's somewhat connected to stuff they own. But I think you're going to have to buy it. But let's go ahead and I'm going to play this trailer here.
Watch on YouTube, it says.
Yeah. Well, if I click it right here, we can watch it right here.
In 1978, Lucasfilm made a huge mistake they prefer we all forget. The Star Wars Holiday Special.
Lucasfilm is still saying, Martin, we shouldn't talk about that. Nobody is allowed to mention this.
No, you don't remember?
It is so bad, it's not good.
You have to see the Star Wars Holiday Special to believe it. The Emperor said we can't show the special in this trailer. But rest assured, you will see all the clips you can handle in the documentary film, A Disturbance in the Force.
The Star Wars Holiday Special is sort of like the holy grail.
I wanted to see this more than I wanted to live.
We're starving as fans for anything Star Wars.
So funny and so stupid at the same time.
We have seen something that we weren't supposed to see. How did this happen?
To find answers, we traveled back and experienced the insanity of 1970s variety television.
When 70s TV was bad, there was no description for it.
How in the world is George Lucas allowing this to happen?
You intergalactic fool. Think you know about the Star Wars Holiday Special? You don't. A Disturbance in the Force. A story 45 years in the making.
I want that on DVD.
Or Blu-ray.
Or Blu-ray.
Or digital. If you get it digitally on Vudu, then I'll watch it. I kind of want to see this just because the sheer terror of... But the thing that they say that's how the world has changed is because, at the time, people were starving for Star Wars. There was only... at that point, only been one movie, and for a long time we had 3 movies. Then finally we got another 3 to where now we have 9. But now there's so much saturation of Star Wars, nobody's starving for this anymore. But we would starve for the ridiculousness that was the making of this holiday special.
And by the way, it was only called Star Wars. There was no New Hope.
Yeah.
It wasn't called New Hope till a little later.
Once they started getting that second one in there, then they was like, hey, now I can actually name the episodes.
Yeah. Because when we were young, when they first brought it all out, it was when you saw Empire Strikes Back, it was called Empire Strikes Back. But around Empire Strikes Back, they would have this box, and you'd have logo. Star on the top and like a logo. Yeah, I loved it. Mm-hmm. You'd have Star on the top and Wars on the bottom, and you would see the Empire Strikes Back logo. I loved it though. You knew I was seeing Empire Strikes Back, and you knew part of Star Wars. But I loved that. That was so much fun.
And as of yet, I have not seen where they've changed the logo for Star Wars to make it say A New Hope and put Star Wars in small letters around it. Haven't seen that happen. Hopefully they don't.
No, I doubt it. But they might have, but I've not seen it.
Yeah, but they do start referring to it as Episode 4 now. But Yeah, Star Wars has lost some of the special when there's just so much of it now with constant series and stuff. It's,
I still love it.
Love it, but it's we're not starving for new Star Wars all the time. We get so much new Star Wars and more than we can want, and even when it's not good. But something else that this is kind of a cool thing. I don't usually cover the Disney stuff so much anymore, but when I found out that this was happening, I guess they might have announced this at the D23, like the big convention thing that they do, which for once I wasn't paying attention, which I used to pay attention to it every year for years. But the ride in Walt Disney World, the dinosaur ride, is the exact same track used for Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Forbidden Eye.
Is that right?
Now, with the current regime that nothing is sacred, I guess, at Walt Disney World, where Epcot is no longer what anywhere close to what, well, of course, it was intended to be a city, but Epcot was sort of educational. Now they're, bringing in characters was one thing, but now they're turning rides into a Frozen ride. There's a Guardians of the Galaxy ride. Epcot is not the Epcot that it once was. Now Animal Kingdom's starting to get those changes, and so whatever your feelings on, Dinosaur is about to get an Indiana Jones facelift to make it into, and I don't know if it's going to be identical to the Temple of Forbidden Eye or if they'll do something a little different. But how that fits in with the Animal Kingdom, I don't know. So Animal Kingdom, I guess, is slowly going to get, it's a little bit of, just excuses to put characters in it. Granted, I never got to ride the ride. I've never been to Disneyland, so.
Oh, it's a good ride.
I'd want to ride it just because it's Indiana Jones, but I don't think I'll ever be able to afford to go to Disneyland.
I've gotten to ride it. I would like to go back to Disney. Give it a couple years. I was talking to someone about it yesterday. She's never been to any of it. But I would like to go again, but someday, maybe give it 3, 4, 5 years, because Disney, I believe, just like so many others in Hollywood and in other places, are starting to get their common sense back again.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so.
Well, what I mean to say is, I don't mean common sense necessarily, but where their common sense lies is their wallet. Yeah. And you give it enough time, and here's the problem with being excruciatingly wealthy. Sometimes you don't feel it right away. Yeah. But eventually you will.
Well, their movies are feeling it. I mean, they just released an animated movie, and it was number 3 in the box office when normally a Disney movie should be number 1.
Yes.
They got beat out by, and I was just looking on the Variety thing, the new Hunger Games movie and Napoleon. Which I'd like to see Napoleon, but I'm just broke. I'd like to see that. We won't be able to talk about it on the show because it's an R-rated film, but I still want to. But yeah, let's not talk about Napoleon because we can't talk about it. So I'm going to move on.
4 hours of it, yeah.
Yeah, but you and I, we're going to have to go, especially when I'm on Christmas break, you and I are going to go see the new Aquaman too.
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
That's December 22nd, man.
I saw a preview of it when I was watching football a while ago.
Yes.
I about lost my mind.
Yes, I've been seeing some stuff. I need to watch the first one again before we go in there. But,
yeah.
But speaking of seeing little things for upcoming movies, it's time to go to the trailer park.
Yes.
Mama, another gator got in the house.
Another gator? Give me that shovel. Come here.
Get him, Mom. Get that gator.
The Neverland Trailer Park.
Coming to Netflix. Chicken Run, Dong and the Nugget.
Better than this. We've put the past behind us. We have Molly to think about now.
What a bonny wee hen.
I made her a bicycle.
Oh, what a lovely thought.
She is a lot like you.
See you later.
Mum,
can we go over there?
You've got everything you want right here.
You can't make me stay here.
She's left the island.
What is that?
Molly! The truck's taking chickens to some kind of farm.
Well, hey, that doesn't look so bad. Oh, that looks so bad.
Who knows what horrors Molly is dealing with in there?
Huh? Come on, let's play. Yay! There's something strange about this place.
Behold, the dawn of the Nugget. Last time we broke out of a chicken farm. Well, this time, we're breaking in.
It's an impossible mission.
They're going to turn everyone into nuggets. Find those chickens.
Hang on, Fowler!
Oh, there go the goujons.
Are you sure you're ready for this?
I was hatched ready, Dad. We can do this. Yes!
Oh!
All right, December 15th, coming on to Netflix. That is not Mel Gibson's voice this time.
No, it almost sounds like Chris Pratt almost. I'm not saying it is, But it's more than it's definitely not Mel Gibson. I can tell that.
Oh, the Netflix YouTube channel doesn't have much to say about it other than it's the sequel to from the year 2000, 23 years ago.
I knew.
My goodness.
I knew it was year 2000, so I could tell it's not Mel.
Yeah, it's definitely not. I don't think I recognize really anybody's voice other than I don't like gravy. She sounds like the same voice, but most of the other voices sound entirely different.
Yeah, but it does look cute. I'll say that.
And I do love the first one, and I know it's kind of a joke on The Great Escape, which I still have not seen The Great Escape. But
I know that, bud.
I was trying to watch it one time, and I was busy with something else. Here's something else coming.
You gotta pay attention. Great movie.
Disney Plus got a new season of What If coming. Now, why didn't they click? Ooh. Come on, I clicked it. Come on, here we go.
This kid puts on quite a show.
I have eyes on the target. He does not look all that threatening.
Looks can be deceiving, Your Highness.
Are you sure you do not want any backup?
No, I'm great with kids.
You thought the story was over. But it was only just beginning. I don't do sequels, normally. Things have gotten a little twisted in the multiverse.
Who is this handsome dog?
Oh my God.
This trailer needs more dialogue.
Yeah. But this one's like that. I love that voice.
I've been looking for you for a long time. Time. Just be careful. I don't think I can bear to narrate what might happen next.
Alrighty, December 22nd.
We got a code red. The Avengers Tower's been overtaken.
On Christmas? What is this, Con Air? No, wait, Under Siege? No. Oh, that's not it.
Hey, John McClane, focus!
I like it.
Although, I can't stand Darcy.
I don't
even in a multiverse thing, she's still going to be annoying as heck. So unwrap one episode every day for 9 consecutive days. Now, I don't know how many episodes there are, if there's just 9 total episodes or if they're going to be like short episodes, and I don't know. Now, I think the original What If, they did try to get it to where it was all connected together by the end.
I think so,
because you did get a lot of different worlds and universes, and it looks like we are getting a look at the weird alternate evil Doctor Strange that we got to look at in the universe or the multiverse of madness. It looks like we may have that, but yeah, they're playing with this multiverse thing, and I think this might actually have some results in the upcoming stories. Who knows?
Speaking of multiverse, I was watching a bit of a movie the other day that I guess it never occurred to me, but this person was watching that I watch these people watching stuff sometimes. Anyway, I was watching this man watching The Last Action Hero, and they said that, which is not a great film, however,
it's fun though.
It is fun, very fun. And he said his friends were telling him it's ahead of his time because it was basically the multiverse stuff before there was multiverse. I thought, in a way, he's right, because that's what the whole movie is about, this villain going from movie to movie, bringing out all the villains into the real world. And I was like, I never thought about it like that, but it was.
Kind of in a weird way. I guess you can look at it that way.
Yeah, it was ahead of its time.
Yeah, well, speaking of alternate universe, here's something. This is an alternate universe entirely, and it's weird. Madam Web, not what I expected.
Oh, Madam Web.
Not the Madam Web we know at all.
Oh,
come on.
Okay, never mind.
Get your stuff. Let's go. Let's try that again.
A week ago, I spent my life racing against time.
I'm gonna help you out today, okay?
Trying to save people who were running out of it.
Jackie!
Until one moment changed everything.
Come on!
Welcome back to the land of the living.
I don't understand what's happening. I've been having visions. I knew he was gonna die. I think I'm seeing the future.
New York City's a whole new level of crazy these days.
What do you want from me?
New York City's a whole new level of crazy these days.
This is an emergency. Get off the train.
That man's trying to kill you.
What?
Who are you? What is going on? I can see the future.
Oh, what the hell? She didn't see that coming? That's not how it works.
I've seen that man before.
So who is he?
Ezekiel Sims. He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died.
Wait, I recognize you. You live in my building. You're the paramedic. Yeah, you almost ran me over.
You don't think this is weird? How we're all connected?
It's honestly like the least weird thing that's happened all day.
What do you want from me?
I have no idea what those girls are coming.
Why don't you want from me?
I think he can see into the future.
What are you wondering?
He's trying to change what happens. Julia, get down!
Why aren't you scared of me? Why do you care for me?
Your future was almost so different.
Where do we go?
If you want to live, you have to trust me.
Get ready. Now!
You're showing off. Maybe a little.
Okay, so Sony has been making their own Spider-Verse, starting, of course, with the Venom films and Morbius. They're completely reinventing the wheel here with Madam Web because they still own some film rights to Spider-Man, but they're having more success working directly with Marvel Studios to make the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. But they've managed to get some crossover now with the No Way Home film. And so they decided they're going to, that Craven movie they got coming up that they've kind of disconnected doing their own weird thing with Craven. Now they're doing their own weird thing with Madam Web and even Spider-Woman, because you did probably recognize her, and also the name Julia. Yeah. That is Spider-Woman. But also they've taken Ezekiel Sims, who's not really a villainous character. He was part of a story arc that J. Michael Straczynski had, and it was very interesting. He did have some problems. He was, kind of a villain towards the end, but he was not with villainous intent. They made him into a pure villain, but what people are kind of getting at this, and right now it's got 58,000 dislikes, because this seems very much just a girl power movie, really is what it is. Yeah. And that because that bad white man, which Ezekiel was not really a villain to the caliber of what they make him to be. And I don't think their interest in this is going to work out for them. Because this is kind of like they're inventing their own Spider-Verse and inventing their own version of Madam Web. And really, nothing they had in here really appeals to me as a Spider-Man fan. Even from being familiar with Spider. I mean, a Spider-Woman movie would be kind of cool. The Julia Carpenter version instead of, I'd like to see maybe Julia Carpenter is in there, but also you have the original Spider-Woman. I can't think of her name.
A lot of great things they could do. I thought Madam Web was going to be like the villain that we know. Or maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
Yeah, Madam Web wasn't a villain. She's more she is supposed to be like a psychic thing. And I think even in the comics they have moved on. I think Julia Carpenter became the new Madam Web because the old one was murdered.
Which is the one I'm thinking of, is the old woman who was, there was an old woman who would wear this red dress coming down, and she would, Did she be at the top of a web? Maybe
she wasn't a villain, but that is Madam Web. But she wasn't a villain.
Okay.
She was in the animated series is where I first got familiar with her, and she was trying to guide Peter Parker towards the future. And then the final episode of the animated series, she was going to take him to Mary Jane, and then we never got the real resolution. That was supposed to be our resolution, but it didn't feel full. We didn't get to see him, but she was like, I know where Mary Jane is, and I'm going to take you to him, because Mary Jane in the animated series in the 90s was sent through a portal into another like a limbo dimension, and Madam Web was going to take Peter to go and get her out of there. But
I was expecting her to be older.
I mean, this was the original Spider-Verse. If you the old animated series is like you've got where, I mean, I don't remember if he meets Miguel O'Hara in that one or not, but I mean, they did a crossover of lots of different Spider-Mans to where one version of Peter Parker without Mary Jane had become a villain, and so they were trying to reach him, and it was a cool episode, but that was like the final challenge that Madam Web had been training him up for the entire series, other than like their version of the Secret Wars and all this other stuff.
Yes.
But she's not a villainous character. But this, when I heard they were doing a Madam Web, I was like, well, okay, well, let's see what they do. But now that I've gotten to look at it, I'm like, I don't know that I like what they're doing. They're kind of just reinventing the whole thing. It's like, you got to have a little faithfulness to the source material. If you want to get us old comic fans in there. But here's something that I don't know if I'm excited about or not. It might be cute. There was a lot of talk about it during the Thanksgiving Day Macy's parade. It's Migration, but I'm not a big fan of Illumination's films necessarily.
Oh, yeah?
I'm really kind of tired of Minions. But here we go. Migration.
Here we are together. We're on an adventure. Seeing what else life has to offer. Is that a little scary? Sure, but isn't it worth it?
We're not gonna make it, are we?
Uncle Dan!
What is this place?
We are completely lost.
Where's your mother? That is not your mother.
We're trying to get to Jamaica.
Don't worry, Chump's gotcha.
So listen, Chump.
What? Did you just call me?
Sorry, I thought your name was Chump.
Yeah, Chump. Yeah, that's my name. What?
Right. So listen, Chump.
What did you just call me?
I'm sorry. Is everyone else hearing Chump? What?
This isn't about migration. It's about adventure.
Whoa, hey.
What just happened?
I don't know, but you're in trouble.
What is that?
Duck a la Rouge.
What's Duck a la Rouge?
It's you with L'Orange on top.
There's a whole world we've been missing out on.
And we... When danger strikes, you do not run from it. Reload! We're going to finish this crazy, wonderful adventure.
You're so adorable. Maybe I'll eat you. I'm kidding. Where am I?
Huh? Go, go,
go! So let's see what it says here in the description on this. This holiday, embark on the family adventure of a lifetime. Watch the new trailer for the Migration movie, only in theaters this Christmas. Now, I don't know. Oh, here we go. There's a little bit more. There's a long list of stuff that I've not really been a fan of. Most of these from Illumination, but it says creators of the blockbusters Minions, didn't like it. Despicable Me, the first one, I was the only one I've seen. That was pretty good. Sing, Secret Life of Pets was a disappointment. And invite you to take flight in the thrill of the unknown with a funny, feathered family vacation like no other in the action-packed new original comedy, Migration. The Mallard family is in a bit of a rut, while Dad Mac is content to keep his family safe, paddling around their New England forever. Pardon me, I get hiccups. Mom Pam is eager to shake things up and show their kids, teen son Dax and duckling daughter Gwen, the whole wide world. After a migrating duck family alights on their pond with thrilling tales of far-flung places, Pam persuades Mac to embark on a family trip via New York City to tropical Jamaica. And I haven't seen anything in this that really gets my attention. The big thing that they were talking about during the parade was that the Uncle Dan is Danny DeVito, which might be fun.
Really?
Yeah, that might make it fun, but like the chump joke is stupid.
Yeah.
The slow motion slicing of an orange that happens on the fear of was stupid.
The only thing I enjoyed was the all orange. The original joke of it was funny only because I actually like that dish. But that's about the only thing.
I've never eaten duck.
Yeah, duck all orange is actually very good. What it is, just it's duck with looks like kind of like orange
with
sauce, but
orange on top.
Yeah, with orange on top. But it's actually good. No, we had duck, Jeremy. Remember when you came over that time and we ate duck at the house? I had back when I was married, and we had to
my knowledge, I've never knowingly eaten duck. I had duck as a pet. To me, they are pets, not food.
We had ducks as pets too, but they're also very messy, disgusting. However, what I did, and this was very ornery, I had that picture had Mickey, Donald, Mickey, Goofy, Minnie, Pluto, all of them sitting around the table, and I had the duck in a dish because the duck just happened to be wrapped with white and blue. So I had a little tie of Donald Duck sitting around. They all looked sad, put their heads down. So we were killed and was cooking Donald.
Oh my goodness! I don't recall coming over for dinner and seeing that.
Maybe that was Seth who came over.
Yeah, it wasn't me, because I would have been like, "No, I'm sorry, I don't want to eat a duck," because that was
so cruel. I'm so cruel.
It probably wouldn't be so much of a big thing for me, except for like because I had a duck and 2 geese. I was the only one in the family that they would actually come to, and I could pet them and whatever and interact with them. And then we, when Dad was supposed to have quit smoking. It didn't last. We got him a new husky, which I got the stupid idea to put that in the backyard where I kept my duck and my geese,
goodness.
and the dog killed and ate my duck and my geese.
Well, duck is a kind of a interesting meat. Let me just say
that's not helping.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that but whenever you bite into it, you hear quack every time.
I'm talking about my trauma, and you're talking about the delights of eating duck.
Well, just
what
everybody.
What the crap, dude? My gosh. But yeah, so I've got I've got issues because of that, okay? I was literally going to murder a dog when I came home. When this all had happened, I told my mother, if that dog's still here when I get home from school, I will go back in the backyard and kill it.
You're going quackers?
I was going to do it. It had killed my babies.
How old were you?
I was in high school.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was a freshman in high school during this.
I don't remember the geese and the duck at that time.
I'd gotten them that April, and I'd had them up through the summer. I kept them in the backyard. I had a little wading pool and a little ramp for them to go up, and they would slide down, and it was fun. And I'm sorry. I'd come out. I could sit there on the back porch, and they'd just come over and just kind of hang out, and I could pet them.
That's what happened to our ducks too. Is a neighbor dog came over and killed our ducks as well, unfortunately, and that's the shame of it. It really is. Anyway,
but I have issues when I have a pet that I love, and then something bad happens to it. It messes with me. I love my pets.
The same thing happened to some of our rabbits, and it's such a shame because you love your pet. What I was going to say about this movie is I know that the target audience is for the children.
Yeah, the same ones that probably watched those Sing movies and those troll movies that have no appeal to me whatsoever.
Me either, because they're not for me. But I hope the kids like it. I really do. I hope they enjoy it a lot.
Here's something that I don't think I've watched this trailer, but I saw it and I said, well, this looks cute. Looks like it's about otters. It's called Deep Sea, another animated movie. Not sure who made this.
Great anime.
Okay, well, this is actually already supposed to be in theaters from Viva Pictures November 24th. There was not a bit of dialogue. A lot of nice review stuff in there. Like even Bounding into Comics said it was amazing. And we'll have to read up on that because, that was almost pointless in this audio podcast. It didn't tell us anything. So let me read this here. It says, dive into the world of wonder with Deep Sea. Join Shen Zhu on her magical underwater journey to find her mother and save a whimsical restaurant. Experience a kaleidoscope of emotions in this visually stunning adventure in theaters this November, which it says November 24th. Now, I don't know if that released into American theaters so much because it looks like a foreign made, because even the title had like I think Japanese lettering. So this might have been a Japanese animated thing. Well, here's an official trailer up here because that was only a 30-second thing. Let's take a look at we'll see what this one has. Hopefully it's in English.
Viva Pictures.
Yeah. Nope, it's in foreign language. Dang. Okay, so. But yeah, it looks like it looks like an anime done in computers. But don't know much about the story, so I can't. It does
look really nice.
Yeah, might be worth checking out, but I can't tell you anything about the story.
If they were put in English,
it might be all subtitled, but sometimes that's worth it.
Unfortunately, I'm not a fast enough reader. Yeah, I'm just not.
Because it's one of the best subtitle movies. The Crouching Tiger and Hidden Dragon was a fantastic movie.
Yeah,
and I went with that with the subtitles.
Some movies I can watch the subtitles, but I'm just not fast enough to read, unfortunately, if it's too fast.
Yeah. Heather might like that because she loves to watch anime.
Oh, yeah. It looks beautiful.
Oh, by the way, that Urkel thing you were talking about?
Yeah. Oh, did I mention
Here it is.
Did I do that? Did I say that?
It's me, Steve Urkel.
There he is.
I just want this season to be the best it can be. Oops. I want everything to be perfect for the big guy when he arrives. Now, who wants to head to the mall? They're lighting up the giant Christmas tree. Ow!
What he said.
Maybe there's a way to spread even more holiday cheer. I think I've got it.
You make a good point.
I built something to help spread a little of that holiday cheer.
Woo-woo! Yes.
I'm showing everybody that I got what it takes to spread the holiday spirit without making mistakes.
You've gamified being in the holiday spirit?
Yes! 70 points!
Oh, no, I do not like this idea.
Toys! Oh, no!
You built engine-powered reindeer.
Stop this thing! Take us back to the mall!
Right now!
Did I do that? Hold on, I can fix this.
No! Don't fix anything!
Wanna go fix the holidays?
Yes!
You might be a little awkward.
Goofy?
A bundling butterfingered klutz? I was gonna say eager. But we all know your heart is in the right place.
As long as you care about the people around you, then you're officially helping me spread holiday cheer.
Dashing through the snow on a city bus. Nope!
So this is coming out digitally. I don't think it's going to be in theaters. But being that it's Warner Brothers, I'm thinking it's going to be on the Max thing. Let me see what it says here. It says that Warner Brothers Entertainment, we believe the power of story from classic contemporary measures. Well, yeah. Looks to me, I'm hoping it's going to be on Max, or that, or at least it'll probably be for purchase.
It will. That's where you get the show. You can get every episode of the show. The
Family Matters?
Family Matters is on there.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm assuming that's where you can get it. Because I knew that's, it wasn't all that long ago, they were talking about the show, the original show, and they're saying, I miss Urkel so much. And they're kind of in a hint that you may see Urkel again. And I didn't know what they meant, because that's all it said. It was like a little thing, a picture, and it's like, I wonder what they're talking about. And I said, I was hoping they meant there was going to be a reunion. Like of the
well,
crew,
in a way, some of those characters might pop up in this animation. And this,
you never know.
I'm wondering if this wouldn't be the beginning of an animated Urkel show.
That would be fun.
Yeah, that could be fun. I mean, because Jaleel White's
age in the voice, but what can you say?
Well, Jaleel White has become a pretty prolific voice actor, and best known for being Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Plus, he was on that Camelot cartoon. Remember Quest for Camelot?
Quest for Camelot.
Yeah, he played the rooster who ended up becoming an axe. He was like a talking
Oh,
axe chicken thing.
Yeah. Boy, I haven't seen that in a long time.
Oh, that's a good movie. I just saw the other day parts of that. And to this day, some of that song is sung from that movie.
No, I can't think of what song it is, but yeah.
It was such a pretty song too.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
Oh, it was so pretty though. But anyway, that's great animation from.
I remember we went to the theater to see that one. You and I
a couple times. That sounded great.
Well, heck,
anyway.
even if you were watching the Plaza Lighting here in Kansas City, they actually sung the song from Anastasia. Which, did you and I go? Or did I go?
Yeah, I saw
else?
Anastasia.
I know you saw, but I don't know if we went together because I think I saw it in the theater at least twice. I might have went with you at least once.
Yeah, I think so.
Because that was where like DreamWorks Animation finally put Disney on notice.
It was neat to see the Anastasia on Disney Channel now.
Yeah, now because it was released through Fox, so now they own it. Yeah. So now Anastasia is a real Disney princess. So.
It's a beautiful
really great animation too. I mean, Christopher Lloyd, John Cusack.
When I was a kid,
Meg Ryan,
Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer was great in that.
In that movie, though, when there's a part where she's looking up at these paintings of her family, but she couldn't quite remember if it was her family or not. They come bouncing out of those paintings, dancing and all, and it reminded me of the Haunted Mansion. So now that there's a connection there, it's kind of interesting.
But anyways, Urkel.
It also had, what's her name? I can't think of the actress's name. Well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, go ahead.
Yes, but Urkel. So this, I believe, will be on Max and possibly for purchase digitally here. Probably. I don't think did we get a date on this thing? But this looks like it looks slightly predictable as far as the story. Sure. Seems like Urkel is trying to make holiday cheer into a game, but then it becomes more about the points and not the cheer. So he wrecks things, but then it looks like Santa's going to show up and help Urkel really get people into the real reason for the season. Now, I would love for it to be about Jesus because that is the reason for the season. But I will say that I'm sure it won't be.
I will say this: I was very thrilled while I was watching the Santa Clauses show that last year, and this year they got new episodes of it. Not great, but okay. And I will say that I like that they constantly remind you, because they did this last season. Not constantly, I should say it like that. But the whole reason last year they showed you that Santa Claus, or all the Santa Claus is through the season, is to remind us that the real reason is through Jesus. Yeah, which I think is amazing. That's because of Tim Allen, by the way.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah, that's what makes these worth watching.
And if you knew Tim Allen's past,
the alcohol and all kinds of stuff,
he went through prison and all stuff.
Yeah,
God can change
cocaine. I think even didn't he?
Yeah,
have some cocaine problems.
Yeah, he can change anybody. It's amazing.
Yep. There's some other stuff that I'm looking at. I want to kind of watch before I make part of the show because some of the high quality Warner Brothers animation has ended up getting R ratings on it. So, but there's something about a Justice League Crisis official trilogy trailer, and I'm wondering if like their Crisis on Infinite Earths or something. I'd be interested to maybe watch that, but I don't know if I can play the trailer here. So I will save that for maybe next episode.
I was curious why there was a Doctor Who thing on Disney. I was like, what is that?
Disney, I don't know why. Well, I know at one point Disney had worked with some stuff on Doctor Who. We did mention before we got you back on the show that I do not recommend that special that's on Disney Plus right now.
What is it?
I'll talk to you about it later.
Okay.
But there is one thing that was on that screen that you'll see this next. There's something called Merry Little Batman. It's going to be on, of all things, Amazon Prime.
Huh.
Merry Christmas, Gotham City. In breaking news, Gotham is officially crime-free as Batman continues to clean it up.
Dad, I'm ready to be a superhero like you.
Merry Christmas, kiddo.
My own utility belt!
Which should only be used in case of a bat emergency.
Oh, come on, Dad. I'm not a baby.
Hey, I never said you were a baby.
Emergency! Call for help. My precious little baby is in danger.
It's the Justice League. Sorry, Damien. I gotta go.
Shall I assume we did not see the Bat Razor?
I like it. Totally ups my intimidation game.
You have donut crumbs in your intimidation game, sir.
Batman with a beard, folks.
I promise I'll be back before Christmas.
Oh, man. I'm the worst dad ever.
Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg.
Joe Joker!
Oh, how I want to make this a very special Christmas Eve. And what better way to do it than by stealing Christmas?
I have to show Dad I can handle myself. Whoa! It's a bit saggy. Well, that one just leaves nothing to the imagination. Dad made me a bat suit? Awesome. Wait until they get a load of me.
You don't have what it takes to be a superhero.
I can do this! I'm saving Christmas!
All right, which one of you gave a little kid explosives?
This is great.
Allow me to break the ice, little Batman.
What do you say? Need a wingman?
I love how
Like a sidekick.
December 8th. We got to teach Philip not to talk during the trailers.
I'm sorry.
But
I love it.
Clearly don't take it seriously at all. They're just doing inventively fun, silly, and even the animation style is ridiculous.
That's great. I love it. It's great.
I think I want to check it out. It's going to be on Amazon Prime, so I don't know if you have to have a full membership to be able to watch it, and I don't think I have one. I don't know. I
have one.
I'll have to come over to your house. We'll watch that because it looks just silly. Just silly.
And I think it's great. You know, I love how they're mocking themselves. I mean, they're obviously making fun of the movie stuff. All things
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze.
When the kid turns around and shows his rear end, he's put on the suit. That's definitely making fun of.
And nipples
Schumacher.
on one of the bat foods. That leaves nothing to imagination.
Yeah. I love how they make poor Schumacher. He's made some great movies, and yet what he gets made fun of all the time is the Batman movies. But at least and he's no longer with us. Sadly.
Yeah, he wrecked the Batman franchise at the time, so
and
he earned it.
To his defense, that wasn't really his fault. They wanted him to make stupid movies in the long run. They asked him to make it kiddie-ish and weird. So in some ways it's not his fault. In some ways it is. Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, that looks like a lot of fun. It's called Merry Little Batman. And it's Damian Wayne. And it's just funny with Batman and a beard and everything. It adds to his intimidation game. There's donut crumbs in your intimidation game, sir. But the character designs are very off the wall, but it seems to fit with what they're doing. So, yep, I would think that's definitely going to be worth some checking out for new holiday special, a Batman one. That's just for laughs.
Years ago, Jeremy, you'll remember this. Years ago, I used to draw tons of notebooks of Batman.
Yeah,
you remember that?
Yeah,
and I had just about every style you could think of. There's some that I would draw a Hanna-Barbera style, several different Hanna-Barbera styles, because Hanna-Barbera has several styles they would do,
Yeah.
And then I would do different Disney styles, and I even did Dr. Seuss styles of Batman and things like that, because it was just fun to see how you could draw the same characters over and over and over and over again in different ways, different styles, and I love doing that. It's just fun to see. How would it look if they almost had a Grinch-like look about them, a Grinchy look? If you had a Chuck Jones look this way and a Chuck Jones look that way, and so it's kind of fun. It's enjoyable.
Well, to turn a corner into our main content.
Yes.
By the way, I'm going to pause right here for a commercial break.
What's so special about Hero Bread's soft, fluffy, and delicious breads, buns, and tortillas? Hero Bread serves up 0 to 1 grams of net carbs, 5 to 11 grams of protein, and high fiber in every delicious serving. Made with natural ingredients, Hero Bread supports gut health, promotes weight management, and helps maintain blood sugar. Hero also drops other limited edition ultra-low net carb goodies like rich flaky croissants and buttery brioche slider rolls. Head to hero.co to shop today.
Now that I have a gap that I can actually visually see to make sure I put the ads in, if you didn't like hearing those ads, become a subscriber on Patreon. You'll get your own RSS feed, which will not have those ads in it. Not to mention it won't have the ads at the beginning and all this stuff. But hey, those ads help pay for the show. So, and it's funny enough that we're about to talk about this because actually your sermon today brought this up with Mickey Mouse being the most popular character in all the world. And he made his grand debut November 18th, 1928. So I'm about 8 days off. With the animated short film Steamboat Willie, created by Walt Disney and Ub Iwerks, this is also the beginning of Minnie Mouse, but Mickey was an instant hit, capturing the hearts of his audience around the world with charming personality and mischievous antics. Now, the fun part about this, though, that they don't, I went into Chat GPT to have it put together, my facts. It saves some time on research, but a lot of this stuff is already new. Is Steamboat Willie was not actually the first Mickey Mouse cartoon that they made. Right. There was actually Plain Crazy, and I think another one, but they hadn't released those. Those were both silent at the time. But Walt said, no, I want to do one with sound, and he wanted to put that out first, and that was Steamboat Willie.
He was very brilliant. Yeah. He knew.
And it took a lot of work. Have you gotten to see, there's behind-the-scenes footage on that documentary that Dick Van Dyke is narrating, where they had to get it all in one take, all the sounds. They couldn't overdub, because recording sound was a very new thing. Especially, lining it up with film. So it was a very painstaking process, but to have sound on animation was very new. I mean,
they had to drop all the stuff. Like if you had, I'm just throwing this out there. If you had to drop like nails on top of a tin or whatever, it had to be ting, 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 right in a row.
And it had to be rhythm.
Yeah, in rhythm.
Which is why the whole thing is like a big musical thing, because they kept everything to metronome and everything was timed to music. So, right. Which is also why one of the things I love about the old Disney shorts is that the sound effects are mostly made by musical instruments.
Yeah, you could have
they're unique, they're special.
Quack, quack, and so you can have that little quack with the character or whatever. It's so much easier.
Like Goofy would fall down and it'd be a drum roll. So they used musical instruments for the sounds, and that really set the Disney shorts apart from all the stuff we saw in Looney Tunes. And Mickey, of course, being the launch and even being voiced by Walt himself, yeah. And then
Elias.
There's a lot of different stuff that happened. I mean, you and I, of course, one of our favorites, when Mickey went and got his first changes in appearance, he got a slight change in his design, a little bit of change in personality when he got in color. 1935, the band concert. Which was also significant animation. It wasn't the first color when they did that. The first one was Flowers and Trees, Silly Symphony. Right. But of course,
that's why if you've seen the 100-year salute,
that one thing they did,
in the background, you'll see the trees back there. They make sure. And my mom was when I was watching that a couple of days ago, she goes, I wonder why they had the trees. Because that was the first color cartoon they did. She goes, all these. I said, I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
But that's the truth. Is I knew that's why those trees are definitely in the back, because they have their little salute to every little thing in there. You can see it.
They really did. That's pretty much what made that worth watching, is all the little nods to everything. Because it's not really that there's much for story on this little short thing. It's just fun to kind of see all these, and they lifted some of the original voice from their features, so everybody sounded right. Good. And I will
say this:
I enjoyed it just for the nostalgia.
There was a moment that my mom and I both teared up whenever he looks at that picture of Walt. Did you hear the music they're playing?
It's been a while.
When he looks at Walt, this is that one they brought out for the 100th year anniversary.
Currently on Disney Plus.
Walt, when he looks at the picture of Walt. They're playing Feed the Birds.
Oh, yeah.
And if you know the story of Walt, that was his favorite song. He'd have his boys, he'd call them his boys, the Sherman Brothers. He'd say, play my song, boys, play my song. And they play that for him.
Yeah,
play.
And that's what it's all about.
Every single, that's right. He loved that. That was the song that to him made the movie. And it was. I love that song. I used to sing it every single night.
It is the heart of that film, totally.
It's a great. Anyway, I thought that was interesting, but they played that in that cartoon.
But they got some nice things they wrote up with the Chat GPT here. I love it when they write for me, whatever computer it is. It says, Mickey's popularity soared. He became more than just a character in cartoons. He became a symbol of hope and joy during challenging times, including the Great Depression. His optimistic and adventurous spirit resonated with audiences, providing a much-needed escape from the hardships of the era.
That's right.
And you kind of got into that sort of a little bit, because he brought out folks on as he's doing the sermon. And if you go to Moment of Truth, Bible Baptist Church on YouTube, you hopefully be able to find this today. He pulled, of course, it's the camera's kind of distant, so you don't see it so good. But he has this little Mickey Mouse he put up on the pulpit, and he's wearing he's dressed as Uncle Sam. But each one of them was symbolically kind of meant something. For all these different mics. But he put a Mickey Mouse figure out on the pulpit and used it to preach a sermon.
And I had there's 3 mice I liked. And it's true. I have Mickey Mouse, Jerry Mouse, and Mighty Mouse.
Yep.
and each one represented something. I felt kind of bad that Jerry had to be kind of we won't say bad mouse, but he was the one who was unstable in his actions. 1 minute he was a good guy, next minute he was starting to fight and kind of a jerk. That's just how Jerry was. But I love Jerry.
Yeah,
it's just the way it was in the cartoon.
I was always more of a supporter of Cat, Tom Cat. I'm a cat guy. I've had a pet mouse before, but
Tom was a jerk. Sometimes a real jerk, and other times he was just
doing what he's supposed to do as a cat. Keep the pests out.
So you never knew.
Yeah, but we're talking about Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
And he's got a little figure of Tom over here. It probably goes with your Jerry Mouse figure, I guess, too.
Yeah.
Of course. So, it has a fast forward to 1978 when Mickey Mouse received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, becoming the first cartoon character to receive this prestigious honor. Awesome. It was a testament to Mickey's enduring impact on the world of entertainment. And Mickey's undergone a lot of changes. I mean, when you go into Fantasia, where they gave him the more full eyes, to the 1950s, he had like a completely different style and look and a different voice. I'm not especially keen to the voice from the 1950s. It never quite sounded the same to me.
He kind of was a little more like this. It was kind of
I love Walt's voice, and I love Wayne Allwine's voice for it.
Me too.
And you know what? I kind of like Brett Iwan's voice for it too. I've gotten used to him. He sounds a little different as Mickey, but he's a good Mickey. I'll grant him that.
I like him. He's not my favorite. In fact, I say he's my. And I don't mean this as an insult. But seeing how there's only been 4 basic voices, I'm not saying that that's all there's been, but there's 4 basic voices.
There's been other ones on records that are worse.
But he's probably my next to last favorite of the 4 main voices, but not because I don't like him. I like him a lot. It's just that it's usually I think of him when I think of the kitty, hot dog. So I'm not big at that.
Yeah.
But I will say my favorite one is the one I grew up with. What's his name again?
Wayne Allwine is the one that really. Because he was doing the parks. He was Mickey's Christmas Carol. That was Wayne Allwine there, and of course he was actually married to the voice of Minnie at the time too. That was his real wife, and they were cute together. Apparently,
I could be wrong on this. I don't think so, but it seems to me like he was Mickey longer than anybody.
Well, it seemed like because he was doing it a long time. Because Brett Iwan took over after Wayne Allwine had passed away. But Wayne got to do a lot of different stuff. I think even like House of Mouse, and of course in the parks. But his version of Mickey is what really kind of settled in my brain for most stuff. But I feel like he really embodied what Walt had done.
That's
a lot more.
He did a little bit of the guy in between.
Yeah.
The guy from the 50s and the 40s, mostly 50s.
Yeah.
He did a little bit of that guy there. So he kind of combined the two of them.
Yeah.
And put it together.
A fun little extra fact, if I remember correctly, I think Hal Smith, that of course you know as Otis the Drunk, from Andy Griffith, and of course John Avery Whitaker, an owl. He at one point got to voice Mickey Mouse, if I'm remembering correctly. He's talked about he did do Mickey, which he does as Mickey, and it doesn't quite sound quite right because he doesn't have you have to have just the right voice to hit that level to make it sound right. Because all of us can kind of go halfway to falsetto, but there's just a certain tone of Mickey that just your natural voice has to have, I think, to get it right.
And you have to have a little bit of happiness. Like for me, I can do a little bit of Mickey, and I always could. But the thing you have to have is cheer and happiness and ha 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 ha, a little bit of that in there, kind of
that eternal optimism.
Yeah, that's it. There's a little bit of song when you talk. Ha, come on, ha. Got a little bit of that in there. And go a little bit of song with it, That's because that's Mickey. Mickey's always my dad, personality-wise, my dad was Mickey all over the place. Always kind of cheerful and, hey, guys. I mean, he was pretty much Mickey. Everywhere he walked. He didn't look like him.
The only time he should have almost gotten in trouble is if you watch Pluto's Christmas Tree. He strangles Pluto at one point.
That's my dad there.
And I'm like, I'm surprised no one's really. I bet there's people who've been up in arms about that, like dog abuse.
No, I love it. I love that one. He goes, I love what he says. You dumb mutt.
Yeah,
I love that
because it's not often you'd see Mickey get mad or upset, except for when it was funny.
He was getting on to him. I love that one.
Yeah, he does get a little mad. You see a little bit in the band concert when he's trying to keep control over things.
I love that,
especially with Donald Duck doing his thing.
Mickey is great because he is like all of us in a lot of ways. He's happy-go-lucky.
Bit mischievous.
The only thing I'll say is through the years, they did sometimes wimpify him at times where they didn't focus at all on the fact of his mischief. he was a regular guy. He wasn't all happy all the time. He did have some times where he'd get frustrated or ornery. You know, I mean, he had that. It's just
like
that
if you see their spoof on Gulliver's Travels, you get to see he gets a little ornery with the smaller people.
I love it.
He has some fun being a giant.
Yeah, it's so cute.
They did kind of. I've heard it said many times when they went to color, they mellowed him a little bit because they wanted to show some of the other ones, and they wanted him to be more of just the optimistic one. So I want to see more of the old black and whites where he was allowed to be more ornery. But I guess some of the stuff that they thought, well, some parents were a little upset with stuff because kids were getting into Mickey Mouse, but like he wasn't exhibiting behaviors that they wanted their kids to emulate all the time. So they wanted to make sure that Mickey was more something the kids could look up to. So I think they talk about that in they had a great special at Disney Plus about Mickey's impact. I think a couple of years ago, I guess they made that one. But that's something I definitely recommend for the 95th anniversary. You go ahead and watch that. It's got a lot of great history on them and how some of the reasons behind Mickey's changes. The only version of Mickey that I really just can't get behind is the theme park is so sanitized. I understand why they do it, but he's so sanitized when you see the theme park version that he's not funny anymore. You know.
They go overboard.
Yeah, it's a little overboard. And heck, growing up, you know, watching the old Disney shorts, I always liked Donald and Goofy better because they were the ones that were allowed to be funny. And Mickey was just kind of almost the straight man. But as you get older, you learn to appreciate Mickey more and more. As you get older, you appreciate what it was and the special brand of humor that is Mickey Mouse and the everyman quality that he has and that little bit of hope and optimism that he kind of brought to everything. And the little hero he is, because I always loved the brave little tailor. That's still my favorite.
Oh, that's
I absolutely love it. I got 7 in 1 blow. You know, I love it.
That's one of my favorites.
Yes, love it.
It's like a misunderstanding.
Yes,
which we all have.
It's so funny.
I think everybody has a misunderstanding, and that's I think him and Popeye, as far as old cartoons go. I think I love them because we all kind of get in that situation where they're sweet and yet mischievous. Because Popeye has a temper.
Yeah,
but it's mostly him trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And Mickey's that way. You know, he's trying to do the right thing, but doggone it, you're getting in my way. Don't rob me of my happy moments. You're doing something that's getting in the way of it, doggone it, you know? Or it's a black and white one, I think. Maybe not, because I know there was another one, a little bit in a colored episode. But it was one where there's a lot of orphans. Looks like little mice, maybe some kittens. But I remember that they're trying to put on a
Orphans
show.
Picnic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they do the big show. That's when they've also, I think they remade it in color later.
In the color, yeah.
Yeah. So it's both.
Same basic story. Yeah. Because I remember both. I can remember a black and white one where they all look like mice.
Yeah.
You know, basically it looks like Mortimer and them. Mortimer, but his nephews, I meant, whatever their names were.
Yeah.
But then there's another one that I remember where him and Donald are up on the stage. And
Magician Mickey.
Color. Yeah.
I love the Magician Mickey one too. Anything great. That he's kind of with, because Donald's is just an instant foil because he just can't keep his cool. And he's just a little smart aleck that sometimes he just asks for it.
Quacking. But you can always see the little cane coming out and pulling him on the neck.
Oh, yeah. The only time I think I really remember Mickey Mouse being the foil of anything is him versus that whirlwind when he's trying to clean up Minnie's yard so he can have a piece of pie or cake or whatever it was.
I felt bad.
And that little whirlwind is just raising a ruckus, and poor Mickey just can't seem to win. And then he gets blamed for everything when Minnie comes out and it's like, oh, you want the pie? Splat.
Well, that's what it's like to be in a relationship sometimes. No, I'm sorry.
You get hit in the face. You end up with a little pie on your face. Oh, yes. And you get blamed for something.
Whirlwind.
Sure.
No, that's life. Sometimes a whirlwind comes in your life, you know. But I love that episode. That's a good one. I don't know what you want to call them. Maybe it's not an episode, but
there is an article that the WaltDisneyCompany.com has up where they spoke with Rebecca Klein, who's the current director of the Walt Disney Archives. And she's got a few different quotes in here. All of the wonderful things that followed in Walt's own career were founded upon the first screening of a simple little mouse whistling his way into the hearts of audiences all over the world. But Mickey is more than just a company mascot. He's a symbol, a work of art, and a beloved everyman, according to Rebecca Klein. And here's another good quote. When asked why Mickey is so popular, Walt once said, when people laugh at Mickey Mouse, it's because he's so human. And that is the secret of his popularity. He struggles with life, as we all do, but uses his innate sense of optimism to overcome all obstacles and has a wonderful time doing so. He's terrifically appealing because of that optimistic, sunny outlook, and that optimism is sorely needed in the times we're living in today.
Amen to that.
And that's why we love Mickey.
That's right.
I feel like I said, I feel like I appreciate him more as I get older, and now I've got so many little Mickey Mouse toys, and I always was more of a Donald Duck because, poor Donald, though, his theme song has it right. He gets stuck with all of that luck. He really does.
One guess, that's who.
And poor, I always felt bad for Donald. I related to Donald because I was a temperamental little kid, too. So
I'm sure this is not the first time I said it, and it won't be the last. But just like with so many characters, but I believe that Donald, Goofy, and Mickey are much like Kirk,
yes,
Spock, and McCoy.
Yes.
They are a combination of the three of one person, the three personalities of one person, and you separate those three. But basically, we all have those three basic personalities. That's the way Mickey, Donald, and Goofy are. That's the way Spock, McCoy, and Kirk are. That's why they're so good together. The three of them are.
Yeah.
We all have the Kirk in us. We all have the McCoy. We all have the Spock. And the same with Mickey. Mickey's like Kirk, and tries to be optimistic.
Yeah.
And McCoy was definitely Donald. By the way, I've drawn pictures of it.
Yeah, McCoy is definitely Donald Duck, and
Goofy.
Spock
I love
had Goofy years, but
and I love it. He's just looking up at us. The funny thing is, now in real life, there's no way Goofy's like serious all the time.
Yeah.
Live long and prosper.
Yeah, it doesn't quite work up that way. Goofy's the opposite of logical.
Yeah, but that's what makes it even funnier.
Yeah.
Think about him. The needs of the Minnie outweigh the needs of the Goof.
Oh yeah, exactly. It just don't work.
One.
Yeah, and some of my favorite Goofy lines is still Mickey's Christmas Carol. Who go, I'm supposed to carry these tunes for all eternity, maybe even longer. I don't know why. That has got to be my favorite Goofy line. It's just funny.
I think it's the way he pauses.
Yes,
it looks awful. Like, wait a minute. Oh, did I get that wrong?
Yeah, that and of course, and the Lonesome Ghost. So they're like, I'm brave, but I'm careful. Yeah,
I love.
Ain't as scared of no ghosts. Yeah,
I love when the three of them are together.
Yes, the three of them together are like the greatest pair, not pair, but trio.
Trio, yeah, I do. Yeah. I love that trio, and that's why I said I feel the same way when no joke. There's times I'm watching Spock, McCoy, and Kirk walking together on the show of Star Trek, and I'm thinking, there they are, and I'll even see them kind of half sneak. I'm like, there it is, the Lonesome Ghost.
Yeah,
there it is. It's a Lonesome Ghost. I love it.
Yep.
There's a great episode where they go back in time. It's a great episode, except that McCoy kind of gets, when they go through this whole time thing, McCoy kind of goes ahead of them somehow through time, and he gets lost in there, and he sees this girl, kind of falls for her. Anyway, the whole point of all this is that when it happens, they go through that little time portal thing. It reminds me so much of Mickey, Donald, and Goofy going into the mirror, that whole mirror thing. And so there's so much connection between them. I love it.
Yeah. That's one of the things is like 5 years ago, I remember, with the 90th anniversary of Mickey, and there was a little bit of Minnie. I did find out something of Minnie at one point, but they had like all the little miniature Mickeys, which I have. Well, they're not on this wall now. I've moved them downstairs because I was trying to make more room for my new He-Man figures coming in, which they're starting to come in. But I collected a lot of those little 90th anniversary Mickeys. I haven't seen if there's a 95th anniversary Mickey set of toys, but I know when we hit 100 years of Mickey Mouse, they're going to have to go flipping ballistic with some new stuff. And of course, I'll have to find a way to collect it all.
You give me an idea, though, Jeremy. I know I put his outfit on Mickey before, but now you're making me want to draw He-Mick.
He-Man with Mickey Mouse ears,
Yeah. He-Mick.
Put some buttons on his fur trunks.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I took a toy of Mickey. You remember I showed you that picture. I took a toy of Mickey and I put He-Man's sword in his hand, and I put the little vest thing on him. And he was setting on Battle Cat.
Yeah,
what would be great about that is if it was Pluto.
Yeah,
or if it was what would be even greater, instead of Battle Cat, if you had Shere Khan. That would be great.
To help explain what he's talking about, and you can find these on Amazon, they have for the 100 years of the Walt Disney Company, they did a really neat little set of Mickey and Minnie. They're about, I'd say probably about 6 to 7 inches tall,
like that.
And pretty inexpensive, I thought, for the set. And they got different hands and different heads that you can swap out in little stands. So really, I definitely recommended it. I love having them down there in my Disney room.
And it's my favorite version of Mickey, which is the white face with the black eyes, the
classic
oval black eyes. And
Yeah.
that's my favorite version for me personally.
Yeah.
Because my favorite Mickey is the what is it called? The parade in the park? No,
The band concert. Yep.
Band concert. I get that for some reason. I get that confused. I love that, and I love the one you were talking about with the giant and
Brave Little Tailor.
Brave Little Tailor, but those classic ones are just outstanding.
Yeah.
This is not to say I don't love any of the others. I do, but there was something about that time that everything was just starting to get perfectly done.
Yeah. And even when they had some scary adventures, like did you see the I forgot what it's called. It might be just called The Mad Doctor, where he has this nightmare about Pluto being taken away, and there's some brilliant 3D style almost animation when Mickey's walking through this like haunted chamber, and the way everything moves it looks like a first person shooter that we would play now.
Yeah, they did a good job.
It's amazing.
The thing about that time frame that I was talking about with Mickey, like that, what I like is where they started going into the color cartoons.
Yeah.
It was getting into the color and everything. They weren't black and white anymore. They didn't stay in that black and white. It was just going over to color, but it wasn't all over the place. It was like there was some color, but it was still kind of faded compared to today's color.
Yeah.
You know, it was kind of like somewhere in between.
Pretty early in the technology, but they used it well.
Yeah.
They used it very well.
Really well. I also like the one where he did kind of the Wonderland, whatever that was called. Was it Mickey in Wonderland or something like that? Where he looked into the mirror?
That was Through the Looking Glass. I love that one too, and it's mainly just song and dance stuff.
But it's so brilliant.
It is fantastic.
One thing about Disney was they were so above and beyond and over the edge and above before anyone else could get some of that stuff done. Like to this day, it amazes me because they didn't have computers.
Yeah,
and some of their stuff outdoes what they do with computers.
Yeah, I think so.
To me.
Yeah,
it's amazing because when he broke the glass on that one. And, you know, he ding, and I don't know. There's just certain things they could do that just look so good.
Yeah.
You have to understand, folks, I love to draw. And I still try to capture a few people's things. I try to capture Disney's wonderment. I love some of the Looney Tunes quirkiness. I love the Hanna-Barbera style of joy and laughter. And so but Disney will always be, for me, the top.
Yeah. Because, I mean, as much as I love Bugs Bunny, I tell you what,
me too.
I love that I got to grow up and be able to also see Disney shorts on the Disney Channel.
Oh, me too.
And so, those of you with children, if you have Disney Plus, I recommend sitting down with your kids, let them watch some of those, the few Mickey Mouse shorts that are on there. Sit and watch those because I bet your kids are going to love those.
Yes.
And they are re-releasing some collections. The only thing is like the one of the collection they started to put out, it had most of the stuff was already released when they had that 90th anniversary of Mickey Mouse. So most of when they release these, I look and I'm like, I have all of these and I'm not for the price. I'm only getting maybe one new one.
Yeah.
But part of me, I'm still tempted to do it just because I would love to be able to watch all of that. But
I like to get them, but I wish they'd do it in a, what do you call it?
Well, they need to re-release those old treasures sets.
Yes, I'd like to do them in a schedule. Like, I mean, not schedule. What I'm trying to say whenever they brought them out, like in the order.
Put them in a chronological order, yeah. Which like those old Disney Treasury sets did. And, I would love for them to re-release those or at least put all of that content on Disney Plus so we could sit and watch it. But that's one of the things I think Looney Tunes did have a bit of an advantage for a long time in my childhood is you could go everywhere and see a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Every Saturday morning. Yeah. It was on there for 20-something,
Disney
30 years.
Waited too long before like House of Mouse but although House of Mouse didn't show too many of the old ones, but they did show some good stuff. Yeah. Disney should have made sure they had the shorts in a presence for most people to get a hold of because most people were missing out.
But the problem with being special is if basically it's like if you're not around, people will forget you.
Yeah. Because, it's like you were even talking in church, the little girl, she knows Mickey Mouse, but I bet she's never seen like an old classic Mickey Mouse cartoon.
Well, luckily on YouTube,
but everybody still knows him.
That, yeah, because he's everywhere on sale and, for sale and everywhere else. So everybody knows who he is. Yeah.
But he needs to be known for the classic work that Disney animators did back in the past. But I really got to wrap this up. Because it's 9 o'clock. And,
sorry, pal.
So we got to wrap this up. I'm hungry, I'm tired, and I want to go to bed. and particularly, I want to eat first and do it in that order. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so Mickey Mouse, of course, had a great impact. But we want to, of course, remind you, if you go to neverlandpodcast.com, although I think the logo is going to be changing very soon. Daniel's been talking about it, but My Podcast Reviews is what it is currently. You'll find a logo for that. You'll also find a logo for Dubby. If you happen to have a podcast, My Podcast Reviews, for a very low fee, you can get, amongst other things, you can get all of your reviews sent to your email inbox. And because what you might not know when you're in iTunes is you don't get all your international reviews. You're only going to get to see your region. And so if you want to see the reviews you get from around the world. Plus, it also gives me convenient links that you can find on neverlandpodcast.com to leave reviews. There's convenient links right in there. And, you can click in there and leave me a review. We want to, of course, remember to thank Karen Kennedy, Ricky Pope of Christian Nerds Unite, and Darren Wilhite of the Wilhite and Wall Show for their help in making the introduction to the show. Don't forget to email us, podcast@neverlandpodcast.com. Find us on Twitter, NeverlandPcast, Facebook at Neverland Podcast. I've been working on updating that. I don't know that I've actually changed the Facebook.com website, but I've changed things so that now it is just the Fandom Nexus, because we're turning a corner here. There's still going to be some elements of Neverland that are never going to go away. I am still the Spider Pan. I am head lost boy around here, so that's still going to be there. And of course, we do have a Facebook group as well, which one of them I think I was able to change the name of, but not the other one. And I don't know if it necessarily changed what the web address would have been. I'll have to check on that and need to maybe update my notes on it. But you can find us. We are basically the Fandom Nexus, and I will make sure, of course, I need to update those links on the website if you go to neverlandpodcast.com, and keep a lookout, because I do plan on trying to see if I can get the domain. I shouldn't be saying this because somebody will go and snatch up the domain and then make me try to pay extra to get it from them. But I want to get another domain that it'll take you over Neverland Podcast, but it'll be more of the current show. I just shouldn't say it, although I think I started it earlier in the show. But yeah, so I am going to work on that, but it takes some money to purchase an additional domain and have it link over. And then maybe I should get an email address that actually has that other one. But changes are coming. I'm trying to make sure we have a title of this podcast that people understand what the show is more about, because they hear Neverland. And because I even was having a conversation amongst the Christian Podcasters Facebook group that I'm part of, and we were talking about trying to come up with a good name for your podcast, and because you want to make sure you can communicate what your show's about. I said, I'm actually wrestling with that, because I said, well, here's the title of the show. What do you end up thinking about? And people said, like, Michael Jackson? Because Neverland, or it's a Peter Pan show, or and back when we were doing a Disney show, it did fit, because even when I wasn't trying to be a Disney show at first, people were associating it more with Disney because of the Peter Pan. The most people's Peter Pan, they always are going to look at the Disney version, because that is, that's iconic. I kept
thinking it was a peanut butter show.
Peter Pan, peanut butter. So, oh my goodness, my Google Calendar, that they got the scheduling wrong for some of the Chiefs games, and it just popped up thinking that the Raiders Chiefs game was going to be at 9:25 at night. That's wrong. Let me dismiss that. So that's a weird thing to have pop up on my screen. That game actually is already over, and the Chiefs managed to win, although I thought they were going to blow it. But anyways, a different thing. And let's just go ahead and wrap this up. And don't forget, you'll find a Patreon link on neverlandpodcast.com. But if you happen to just want to go to patreon.com/neverlandpodcast, you can become a patron right there, and then you can get an ad-free version of the show. But until then, get lost in an adventure. Oh, well, I guess our timing wasn't together. Normally, you jump on the gun.
I was going to, but is on 5 or 5 then go? So I'll do the whole Lethal Weapon thing now.
Was it 5 or was it on 5?
On 5.
Now I feel like we're in that bit of clue. Does he mean that no one is in the house, or he doesn't know that he knows that no one's in his house? Well, that's what he says. But does he know?
Well, that's what he said.
Well, that's what he said. Well, that's what I heard. Okay.
That's what I heard.
All right. We'll see y'all next time. And sooner than you think. I got to edit together, but I've already recorded what's going to be the next episode. I might release it sooner than you expect this week, because I feel like I fell behind this holiday week. But
Neverland.
Kicking off season 11 next time on the Fandom Nexus.